This bobcat was raised by 3 dogs. It's a dog. What happens next is unbelievable. The Montana winds howled through the snow-covered forest as Michael Thompson clutched his 12-year-old daughter's hand. They walked hurriedly, trying to get home before the snowstorm hit. Their 3 shepherd dogs ran ahead, guiding them through the thick snow. That's when the lead dog suddenly stopped, its ears perked up, nose pointing toward a fallen tree. Without a bark, it rushed toward it, the other 2 dogs following behind. Luna cried out, pointing to where the dogs were gathering around something. Michael approached, his heart beating faster as he saw what the largest dog was examining, a tiny bobcat kitten, nearly motionless, its fur stained with blood. The bobcat kitten breathed weakly, its cloudy blue eyes blinking in pain. Michael knelt in the snow, removed his gloves, and placed his warm hand on the tiny creature. He looked around and saw blood trails leading to the deeper forest where its mother might have been poached. Signs of an illegal trap glinted beneath the nearby snowdrift. Michael was a biologist, well aware that interfering with wildlife often did more harm than good, but in the approaching storm with temperatures dropping below freezing, this kitten had no chance of survival. Surprisingly, the 3 dogs showed no aggression. Instead, the lead dog gently licked the kitten's head, a protective behavior rarely seen toward what would normally be considered a rival predator. Rebecca, Michael's wife and a veterinarian, was displeased at seeing the wild animal in their home, but quickly switched to professional mode. She examined the bobcat kitten, severely hypothermic and malnourished. After stabilizing its condition, she placed it in a box lined with blankets in the kitchen, certain it wouldn't survive the night. But the next morning they discovered the unthinkable. The kitten had not only survived, but was surrounded by the 3 shepherd dogs, forming a protective circle around it. The lead dog lay closest to its large body, providing warmth throughout the night. Luna named it Scout because it would need to learn how to survive. The snowstorm became one of the heaviest snowfalls in Montana history. Roads were blocked. Communication with the Wildlife Conservation Department became impossible. During this time, Scout not only survived, but thrived. And then, the strange began to happen. After just 2 weeks, Scout began showing unusual behaviors. The bobcat kitten didn't move like a typical cat. It mimicked the confident, powerful gait of the shepherd dogs. When the lead dog sat watching the room, Scout sat beside it, copying its posture exactly. Michael began documenting these behaviors. Each day, Scout absorbed more canine behaviors. The kitten would come when withdrawled, an extremely rare trait in wild cats. It played chase with the youngest dog, learned to pull toys, and even attempted to bark, making a strange sound between a growl and a hiss. 4 months passed and Scout developed into a healthy young bobcat with unique behavioral traits. It woke up with the 3 dogs, ate with them, and even learned to patrol the farm boundaries as the lead dog had taught it. At night, Scout slept curled up among the 3 dogs, as if they were one family. Scout combined its natural bobcat instincts, extraordinary climbing ability, acute hearing, and lightning-fast reflexes, with the behavior and loyalty of shepherd dogs. The result was a unique creature, both wild and tame, both cat and dog. Luna took videos of Scout and posted them on social media. The bobcat, who thought it was a dog, quickly became a local phenomenon. People began visiting the farm, curious about the strange creature they had heard about. When the roads were finally cleared, Ranger Martinez came to visit, responding to reports of an illegally kept bobcat. He was surprised to see Scout responding to its name and behaving like a dog, but the law was the law. Keeping wildlife without a permit is illegal in Montana, he reminded them. Michael applied for a special wildlife keeping permit. While waiting, Scout continued to develop alongside its dog brothers. The bobcat was now partially grown, with more distinct spotted markings and a stronger build, but its behavior remained an odd mixture of the 2 species. 2 months later, the answer came. The application was denied. The Wildlife Conservation Department demanded that Scout be surrendered for reintroduction to the wild. Luna posted an emotional video online, attracting millions of views and national attention. Under public pressure, the Conservation Department agreed to send a team of experts to evaluate Scout's case before making a final decision. The department director, a zoologist, and Ranger Martinez spent a day observing Scout, how it moved, interacted with dogs and humans, and responded to signals. They were amazed by the Bobcat's level of adaptation. "This is a special case," the department director admitted, "but the law has no exceptions. The bobcat is a wild animal. It belongs in its natural environment." The zoologist agreed that Scout was too domesticated to survive in the wild. Instead of taking it to a lifetime facility, they proposed a middle ground. Scout would be taken to a wilderness area 100 miles from the farm with a GPS collar for tracking. If it could adapt to wildlife, it would be free. If not, they would consider other options. The day of separation came too quickly, Luna cried. Incessantly, Rebecca prepared a special food bag sufficient for 2 weeks, though she knew Scout needed. When Scout was placed in the transport cage, they whined and barked continuously, trying to prevent the rangers from taking it. The lead dog stood firm like a wall before the car door, moving only when Michael commanded. At the release site, a lush valley with a nearby stream, they opened the cage door. Scout stepped out cautiously, sniffing the new air. It looked into the forest, then turned back to look at Michael and Luna. For a moment, it seemed it would not leave. Then a sound in the bushes caught its attention. Wild instinct took over, and Scout dashed toward the sound with the speed and grace of a true predator. In an instant, it disappeared into the forest. Luna sobbed in her parents' arms. On the way home, the GPS tracking screen blinked, showing Scout moving deeper into the forest. "It will be fine," Michael whispered, trying to believe his own words. "This is where it belongs." But when they returned to the farm, the 3 dogs refused to enter the house. They sat on the porch, eyes fixed toward the distant hills where Scout had disappeared. A week passed since Scout was released. Luna checked the GPS data, hourly tracking every movement of the bobcat. Initially, Scout seemed to be adapting, moving cautiously through new territory, seeking shelter and water sources. At home, the 3 dogs fell into a deep depression. They refused to eat, wouldn't play, and spent hours sitting on the highest hill of the farm, eyes never leaving the direction where Scout had disappeared. On the 10th night, the GPS data showed a strange change. Scout stopped at a high point on a hillside. It stayed there for nearly 24 hours, barely moving. Michael worried it was injured or sick. But then, at sunset the next day, Scout began moving in the direction of the farm. Day by day, Scout's movement pattern became clearer. It wasn't wandering randomly. It was moving with purpose, homeward. Initially, its journey was slow and interrupted. Many times it stopped to hunt or bob a rest. But after each stop, it always continued in the same direction. Michael calculated the distance. Scout had covered 30 miles in the first 5 days, faster than the average for wild bobcats moving through new territory. "This can't just be coincidence," he told Rebecca. As they looked at the data together, it's finding its way home. The GPS revealed the challenging journey Scout faced. On the 6th day, it approached a wide river where spring had made the water high and fast-flowing. A normal bobcat would avoid deep water at all costs. But Scout, taught by dogs who weren't afraid of water, found a narrower point and swam across. On day 7, Scout faced a busy highway. The GPS showed it waiting, hiding in bushes near the roadside for nearly 3 hours. Then, in a gap between traffic, it darted across in a flash. Each obstacle Scout overcame, rivers, highways, human settlements, even territories of other bobcats, astonished the Thompson family. The Bible of bobcat behavior states that bobcats don't migrate such distances, especially not in a specific direction, over such a long journey. On the 12th night, the worst happened. The GPS signals stopped completely. The last recorded position was an area of large rocks and dense trees. While about 40 miles from the farm, Michael and Luna immediately drove to the location. They searched for a full day, calling Scout's name, checking every rock, cave, and thicket. No sign of the bobcat, except a broken piece of the GPS collar strap caught on a low branch. Michael imagined what might have happened. Scout got caught, struggled to free itself, and damaged the collar in the process. But would it continue the journey? Or was it injured? Or worse? The The next 3 days were long, painful days of waiting and fragile hope. Luna was so desperate she barely left her room. Rebecca contacted every ranger station and veterinary hospital within a 100-mile radius. Michael kept studying maps, trying to predict Scout's possible route. He calculated that if Scout maintained its speed and direction before the signal was lost, it could reach the farm within 2 or 3 more days, assuming it wasn't injured. Its fur saved it in the cold environment, but it needs food, while in water, he analyzed. And it has to avoid larger predators, wolves, bears, even humans. The truth was, Scout's chances of survival diminished with each passing hour. On the 3rd night since losing the signal, as the family was trying to have dinner in a heavy mood, the 3 dogs suddenly jumped up as if electrocuted. The lead dog ran to the door, barking furiously, the other 2 following, tails wagging in excitement. Michael hurriedly opened the door, his heart pounding. Standing at the edge of the yard in the moonlight was a small, slender figure. Scout. Dirty, thinner,